Hey guys, welcome to Heat, Happy Energy, Amor Tarot. So I sense, there's this powerful attraction between someone who's deeply emotional but emotionally restrained and someone who has become magnetic, charismatic, independent, confident. See, you have evolved, you have, you know, you're glowing, you are, you're changing. You're stepping into that unapologetic version of yourself, and this person is seeing it. And something inside of this person is definitely shaking. But now the question is, will they rise to meet you where you're at, or will they let it slip away? So let's get into that. Before that, there are like a lot of swords here, okay? This is like someone who's stuck in analysis paralysis, who is feeling too much but saying too little. They are, emotionally overwhelmed, but they won't let it show. Their love language right now is silence, avoidance, overthinking. The swords basically are showing us that it's not just about emotions. There's more mental conflict, fear, guilt, shame, all of that involved here. There's an entire inner war happening beneath this calm zen exterior here. And you are somewhere becoming, or you've become their trigger, not in a bad way, but you're awakening their soul. Good for them. So the first energy is Queen of Wands. See, you're radiating confidence, authenticity. Your presence is strong, your energy is magnetic, unapologetic, and your boundaries are very clear at this point. They're not just seeing you, they're feeling your shift. They're feeling this shift in energy from that needy person to this Queen of Wands. See, they're drawn to this fire like a moth to a flame, but this time the flame has a direction. They sense you're not chasing, you're not waiting, you're not bending anymore. You are standing in power. And that changes the power dynamics completely here with this Queen of Wands energy. Eight of Pentacles. You've been working on yourself. You're investing in yourself emotionally, spiritually, maybe even financially. They've watched you do the work without needing external validation. While they were avoiding effort, you were building peace. That's what you've been doing. And they're starting to realize that what they took for granted wasn't attention. It was devotion that you showed towards this person, and they took it for granted. See, now that you're pouring that energy back into yourself, they're starting to feel the absence like a void, because you are not listening to any other sound from outside. You're like so super focused on what you have to create for yourself. So they're starting to feel that void because of that. Now, if this is resonating already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, we have Hermit. They've gone quiet, but not because they don't care. This is where they're retreating to make sense of emotions they have possibly never faced before. They kept avoiding it, and now it's kind of, coming out, and they are sitting with them. Their ego is hiding, but their soul is reflecting here. They may appear distant, but internally, this person is revisiting every moment, every word, every missed opportunity. This silence is not about forgetting. It's about trying to understand what they have lost and whether they deserve a way back here. Now we start with the swords. There are too many of them. So the first one is Ten of Swords. See, something between you either ended painfully or was never fully acknowledged, but there is a lot of pain here. They may have betrayed your trust, ghosted, or simply collapsed under their own fear. But this card screams emotional rock bottom. This is like, stabbed in the back with these 10 swords. It's painful. They're finally seeing the damage. Not just what they did to you, but what they did to the connection. And that is bringing in the guilt there. A sense of, I broke something I didn't know how to fix. And it was beautiful. And now it might be too late. And then we have Ace of Swords. See, truth wants to come out, okay? They're craving some sort of clarity here, not just with you, but within themselves. This is where there is a moment of potential this card shows, but only if they have the courage to speak. They're battling the urge to reach out, to clear the air, to give you the honesty you always deserve, to cut that bullshit out from, the situation. But, there's fear that the truth won't be enough for the version of who you've become, because you are sitting in this Queen of Wands energy and they don't know if that is going to be enough. And then comes the Queen of Swords. I like this queen here. You've become emotionally intelligent. You are sharp. You are intelligent. I'm not saying you weren't, but you weren't using it the right way. You were letting somebody else manipulate you. You no longer accept those mixed signals or emotional immaturity. You're not cold. You're just clear. You just know what you want, and that's a very good space to be in. They are intimidated by this version of you where you're like cutting the bullshit out. You're like, this doesn't work for me, so we can't be doing this. They were not expecting this. See, they know you won't settle. You're willing to walk away with your self-worth intact. And that's what's scaring them the most. Now we have Four of Swords. Mentally, emotionally, maybe even physically, this person seems like they're exhausted. They've withdrawn not to move on, but to recover, to rethink. There's a lot of contemplation. This is like a heavy pause in their soul that's happening here. See, they're trying to heal, in distance. Heal those wounds they've never publicly admitted. But their silence isn't peace. It's like a storm they're navigating alone, and it's wearing them down. And that's the reason they have retracted. They are not in Zen mode like they show. Now we have Eight of Swords. See, they feel trapped, but the trapped is in their own thinking, in their own mind. This is self-doubt, fear of rejection, self-sabotage, guilt, which is paralyzing them. They're watching you, but this is like, being frozen in inaction. They're stuck in this loop. What if I come forward and they don't want me anymore? That fear is louder than their desire, at least for now. Knight of Swords, like I said, there are a lot of swords here. This is a burst of impulsive energy, like they might suddenly reach out or blurt something out which they're not planning to, but it lacks emotional preparation because they're not planning to. It could be like a clumsy, messy, or defensive, kind of outburst or communication. The desire to fix is real, okay, but the method seems immature to me. They may surprise you with a message or a reaction here, but don't expect depth right now. Their heart is rushing, but their communication skills are still catching up. The communication skills are they really suck. Now, Two of Pentacles, they're juggling emotions, priorities, responsibilities, maybe even another situation or a person. There's a deep fear of making the wrong move or making the wrong choice. But indecision, it's their own decision to stay in indecision. See, they know that they are at a tipping point, and if they don't act soon, they may lose you forever. But fear of instability is keeping them in this loop while time is running out. See, you have done the work, you've pulled yourself out of emotional survival mode and stepped into this soulful alignment, is what I feel from here. This person may still love you. They may even realize what you meant to them far too late. But the thing is that you're not here to wait. You're here to rise. Let their silence be their story, not yours. Let the delay be your clarity, not a setback for you. Because the version of you that they are finally seeing now, that version belongs to you first, not to them. So keep shining, keep choosing you. The right person won't need you to, give them a wake-up call. So just just stand on in your peaceful energy and keep glowing like this Queen of Wands. That was the reading, guys. Thank you for watching.